Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got the 05 Mini Cooper in here. We are changing the bushings on the top of the struts because they are busted bad. Let me see if I can. So right here you can see the rubber is all cracked. Don't really help any with the light on. So what's happening is this is the center nut. I can't take that off. That's the center nut for the strut itself, for the shock. Right there, and it goes up to there. So you can see bearings, the ball bearings down in this, and they turn when you turn the tire back or the wheel back and forth. You turn the steering wheel, this whole middle shaft right there will turn, and this rubber piece right here is supposed to dampen noise from the road, and it's supposed to stay still, and the bearing is what allows everything to turn. The problem is the bearings are going bad on both sides, and it has torn the rubber slowly over time. But so we're going to change these, not replacing the whole strut, just the top here that has the bearing and the bushing in it. So I'm going to zip these 3 bolts off right here. Do not ever remove that center nut off the shaft without a spring compressor compressing the spring itself. It's under tension. It can hurt you, do some serious damage. But let's zip these off and I'll show you the next step. Alright, so on this side we actually have a busted strut. The shock, you see some oil and stuff around the bottom of this thing leaking out of here. So what it is the shaft right here has a seal up inside of here, and there's oil and gas up inside of this, and that's what allows your shock to go up and down and dampen your ride. So when you hit a bump, instead of you just bouncing all over the road, it will hold the car where it needs to be. This one's bad. It's got oil leaking out of it, so this side will have to be replaced. But I'm still going to show you how to take it off, because so what you do here is you got the sway bar link right here. It goes down to the sway bar here and comes up to the back of the strut here. We're going to take this nut on this side off, which is a 14. It has a hole here that takes a 6mm Allen key. You can, what I usually do is hold the nut with a wrench and then turn this side with a socket style Allen. So we also got to remove these little rubbers out of the brackets. They just slide out over here, and this one here just pulls out like that. And then we have a bolt. We have a bolt here, which is an 18mm that holds the strut to the spindle itself. Now, once you remove this, you have to remove the strut. The strut just pulls straight out of the hole. There's a hole right here. This is what holds everything together. So give me a second and I will show you how to do it. Alright, so once you get the sway bar link out and you remove the bolt at the bottom, the strut, if it's all fine and dandy, will pretty much pull out by itself. A little bit of wiggle and jiggle. If wiggle and jiggling don't work, you can tap. You can tap on the top of the strut gently. Just like that, and it will come out. So now you see there's a gap right there. Now, if you're just stuck and you can only get it to come down, ½ inch or something, this piece, the bolt goes through this. So this will have to slide down into the groove that's in the back here. What you can do is you can spread this piece apart right here with a screwdriver. You just have to be careful to do so. If you spread it too far, it will snap off one of these ears right here. What I use is a small chisel or a big fat screwdriver and do it right on the outside edge here, just enough to give me some wiggle room in this area here. Because once you spread it open, as you can see my fingers, when I spread my fingers open, the sidewalls the side of my fingers here will spread open as well. That relieves pressure that goes right here that sometimes can have it stuck. And there's also other times where it's so rusted up in there, so the strut itself, the shock itself, will be rusted up inside of the spindle, and that's kind of aggravating. A lot of beaten and penetrating oil and stuff like that, like WD-40 or PB Blaster or something like that. Spray it all up in there, let it soak for a few minutes. 30 minutes usually is a good time. So always remove the bolt all the way to get it to come out. So now all we gotta do is finish removing the bolts up here at the top. I left them in there. These three here, remove those, and then the whole strut will come out, pretty much fall out, so I have to hold it when I'm taking these bolts off. Alright, so this is where the bushing's all messed up. It is just blown completely out. That's a zip tie that's inside the hole. I don't understand how that got in there. But anyway, so the problem is when this bushing blows out, this is actually holding up the whole car. The bushing itself is what's holding the car up. When it blows out though, as you can see right here, you had metal on metal rubbing on something up inside of there, I reckon. But that made all kinds of racket when you turn the steering wheel back and forth and turn the tires. So that's where this comes in handy. This little fella is not busted and broke. And then there's the bearing right here that turns. So when your tires turn back and forth, when you turn the steering wheel, this is what turns, and this bushing is what keeps the road noise from echoing into the car. Without this, the inside of the car is very, 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 very loud. So we're gonna go get the spring compressor and compress this spring down. Then we will remove the center nut and swap out this plate with a new one. So let's get to it. All right, y'all. So here is the strut right here with the spring compressors on it, both sides. This is going to physically compress the spring, is exactly what it says, what it sounds like, compress the spring. So you're going to compress the spring to relieve pressure on this end, so we can take the center bolt out right here, or this nut off right here, off of the actual shock itself. So I am going to get this, oh yeah, don't mind the clutter. I haven't cleaned this place up in a while. Anyway, so just tighten these up. And then we're going to remove this center. So what usually is going to happen is you're going to take this nut off, as long as the spring compressor is on there. And as you see, it is spinning the shaft that is the shock itself. What I normally do is slide down the bushing and stuff out of the way to expose the very top of the shaft. The very top of the shaft will never go into the shock body itself. So you don't have to worry about really messing it up much. I'll just take a pair of pliers and lock on it. That way, whenever you go to loosen the nut, it will hold the shaft from spinning and the nut comes off. And there you go. Look at that rubber. It's actually missing a big chunk of rubber right there. So pretty bad, but we'll put a new one on here, tighten it back down. Just also remember which direction the bolt pattern goes. So I just picked it up, slid it off just like this with a single stud to the right, and so I will put the new one back on same way. So we got the new washer on there, we got the new bushing with the new washer, the new bearing in it. And now all we got to do is put the nut on here. Leave the pliers on there because it'll help. Once that lock nut grab, there's that, back up. Now, you know, I'm sure these probably have a torque spec on them, but I don't never torque them. The reason being, all it does is hold the shaft into the bearing and the bushing. It's also a lock nut, so it's not going to back off if it does come loose, which it doesn't come loose because of the way it's designed. So yeah, I don't do any of that, and I'm sure I'll get comments in the section below talking crap, but that's fine. I honestly don't care. But anyway, if you want to torque it, take the time, find the torque specs. If not, don't worry about it, because I don't, and I've never had one come apart in the 15 years I've been doing this. Back the spring compressors off. If you've never used these right here are pins that hold the spring compressor onto the spring itself. Pull the pins off, remove it. This kit that I'm using is not mine, it was Courtney's. That's the part number and the brand. I'm pretty sure it got off eBay somewhere. If I had to guess, probably like 20-30 bucks. It worked good. So everything goes back into place the same way it came apart. And yeah, any questions or comments, put it in the comment section down below. I am going to finish the job by putting these fellows back on here. So this is the driver's side, and yeah, it goes back in the same way it come out. So thanks for watching. Please hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and yeah, you got any comments or want to talk trash, put it down in the comment section down below. Till then, see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.